welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lizzy, for those of you who don't know, and today I'm just going to be doing a February wrap-up. I'm pretty sure I read 10 books in February, which is a pretty solid month for me. I feel like that's a good amount of books in my opinion. What do you say we just jump right into it? Okay, so the first book that I read in February is The Frontrunner by Elsie Silver, and this is a part of her, why am I like forgetting the name of it? Blue Rush Gold Ranch, something like that. Horses, that's all I know. I rated this book a 3 stars. In my opinion, like all of these books in this series that I've read so far have been like pretty mid, to be honest. Like I obviously enjoy Elsie Silver's writing, but there's just something about it, like I feel like it's not as polished as her other series, the Chestnut Spring series, which I love that series so much. So in my opinion, it's just not as like polished. I felt like it was kind of hard to connect with the characters. I just didn't connect with it as much as I thought I was going to, but that's okay. I just really wanted to make an effort to finish that series because I started it and in my head, like I need to finish it, if that makes sense. Okay, so the next book that I read is Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer, I think that's how you pronounce it. I gave this book a 3.5 stars. I definitely enjoyed it. This book follows a girl named Evie who is poor, and she is really trying to take care of her family, so she's doing little odd jobs here and there, and she winds up getting into like a conversation with what the town is considered to be the villain of the town. And he ends up offering her a job, and so she becomes the assistant to the villain. And obviously there's a romance that's sparked, and there's also things that are uncovered that is not actually true, and she kind of helps uncover those things. I thought it was cute. It's very short. It reads very quickly. It's like the classic YA fantasy. The plot just felt a little messy to me. It just felt like, it just didn't feel like a succinct plot in my opinion. So that's the only reason why I give it a 3.5. It was cute. I'm not like racing to start the next one, which I don't even think the next one is even out quite yet, but I will pick it up because like it's a trilogy and I have to finish the trilogy. Like my brain is just like, I have to finish it. It wasn't like incredible, if that makes sense. Do you want to see everybody? See, I the cute puppy ever. The next book that I read this month is Full Measures by Rebecca Yarros. So she is very known for her fantasy elements, and I had read, I think it's The Last Letter or something along those lines. It's like a romance book and I really enjoyed it. So I thought going into this, I would enjoy this one. I ended up giving it a 3.5 stars. That's not to say I didn't enjoy it, because a 3 stars is not a bad rating. It's more so like, oh, like it's a little bit of like a disappointed rating. If I was a girl named Ember, and Ember is an army brat, and unfortunately her dad passes away, and she ends up meeting this guy named Josh, and it kind of felt like they immediately started liking each other and there wasn't any groveling. I didn't feel any chemistry between them. It was a little weird. Like I didn't really enjoy it. It was just a little bit cringy at parts. Like I noticed, like I was like, oh, ooh. I really enjoyed the topics that this book talked about, like the grief. Like I definitely cried reading this book because the grief was just, I felt it. It was so heavy and sad, and it was just like those topics were really great, and the way that it was talked about was really great, and I really felt for our character in this book, but it just felt a little messy. The plot felt a little weird. Their love was very insta-lovey. It just wasn't my favorite type of romance, to be honest. So that's the only reason why I gave it a 3.5. I'm probably gonna like read the other ones because I think this is like a 5-book interconnected standalone series, because I'm pretty sure they're all on like Kindle Unlimited, so you know, I'll probably end up reading those at one point because I did enjoy this enough. If I'm like in the mood for another romance like this, then I know that I can go to those to get that. The next book that I read this month, Daisy Hates the Great Undoing. I gave this book a 4.75 stars. I loved this book so much more than Long Way Home in my opinion, because I'm going to say something that might be a little bit controversial. I like Daisy Hate's storyline maybe better than Magnolia BJ's. I know that's crazy to say. I think it's because I love Julian though. I literally, this turned me into a Julian girly, and I love that character. I mean, I literally, the things that happened in this book and the things that were happening, like I was feeling so sad for a certain character, and my heart was literally breaking for them. Like it was so sad. And I just really enjoyed the storyline, and I'm so excited for the next books in Daisy Hates. Like, I just know they're gonna be so good. I loved this book so much that I immediately, the timing was so good because I immediately went into Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. And this guy is chunky. Like, this is, I think, 700 pages, which is crazy for a romance book. But I give it a 4.75 stars as well. Like, this book broke my heart. I have literally never cried so, like, I was crying within like 5 pages. It was, if you know the content of this book, then you know why it's so sad. It's just the topics in this book, Magnolia's growth, like, it's just so good. It was so good. I loved this one so much, and I felt like this was such a good conclusion to Magnolia and BJ's story. Like, it was just an incredible conclusion. I'm really excited for anything more that comes out in the series. I think the next is obviously Daisy Hates because this is the last Magnolia Parks book, I'm pretty certain. So yeah, maybe we'll get like another little novella or something in the future. But I loved this book so much. Even though it like broke my heart many times, I still enjoyed it so much. If you have not picked up Magnolia Parks yet, I highly recommend reading it. It's not like my favorite series ever, but the way that I have grown to love these characters is like no other. The next book that I picked up is Wrecked by Lauren Asher, and this is the 3rd book in the Dirty Air series that she has. And I so far have not loved any of these books. Like, I gave Wrecked a 3 stars, which means it was mid. Like, honestly, 3 stars to me means it was a very mid book. I feel like those books cater to someone that is not me. They're very physical. They like just, it's no emotion at all. It feels like just from the gun, like we're just focusing on things that are physical and not anything mental or emotional. And that is not my type of book at all. Like, I felt like the topics in this book were really good, more deep than the last 2, which is why I bumped it up to a 3. Like, the topics were really great in this book. They were very deep. The characters had great depth. But I don't know, it's just something about it. Like, it felt a little cringy at some parts. It wasn't like my favorite at all. Like, it felt, like I said, mid. It just wasn't my absolute favorite. But I am obviously going to finish the last one, Redeemed, probably next month because, like, it's on Kindle Unlimited, like, I'm going to read it. But I have actually heard that a lot of people enjoy Redeemed way more than the other 3, so maybe I'll find myself enjoying that one more, but we'll see. The next book that I read is This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi, and Tahira Mafi is the author of the Shatter Me series, which I have read in the past and have absolutely loved. And this book follows a girl named, I always forget their second names. Eliza. So this book follows Eliza, and in this world there is a certain type of people called Jinn, and Jinn are people who have powers, and she is a Jinn but is currently a maid. And Jinns have been brought down to being maids because they're so powerful that they are no longer like allowed to like use their powers. So most of them are either killed or hidden or brought down to like lower statuses. So she's a maid, and she ends up like doing something that caught the prince's eye, that he was like a little curious about her. He's like, you don't seem normal, you don't seem like a normal person. It's also in his perspective. We have his POV too, which is very interesting, but I quickly realized like I wasn't a big, his name is Cameron, I'm not a big Cameron girly. I felt like it was put on way too heavy, like their romance, like it didn't feel natural like at all, in my opinion. So it wasn't my absolute favorite, this romance. So I gave it a 3.75 stars because I enjoyed it enough. Like, it was a fun time, and the ending really made me want to pick up the next one. So I gave it the 0.75 for that ending because I was very intrigued in it. I'm definitely going to be picking up the next one in March. So yeah, I enjoyed this one for what it was. 3.75 stars is not a bad rating at all. It just like missed the mark in a couple parts for me. She's very interested in this video, guys. She's also trying to bite my mic, so that's fun. The next book that I picked up is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood, and this is the first YA novel that Ali Hazelwood has ever written, and boy was that apparent. Like, I am curious if this is actually a YA novel. Like, I don't know how it is, to be honest. Like, there weren't any explicit scenes, but the things and topics that were talked about in this book was crazy for a YA novel. It truly felt like a adult romance, in my opinion, but with like simpler things being done, like nothing heavy happened. And I've heard this about a lot of people who have read this book. They're like, hey, this is definitely not a YA novel. Like, it definitely does not feel YA. The topics were like crazy. Like, why are we talking about this in a YA novel? And the amount of times that TikTok was mentioned in this book was criminal. Like, I realize TikTok is very big. I realize that. Like, I watch TikTok all the time, obviously, but I don't want to hear about it in my books. Like, that is literally the last thing I want to hear about. Because you want to know why? Is because I literally like get distracted and go on TikTok and books. So why are you mentioning TikTok in books? Are you trying to get me to watch TikTok? Like, I just didn't enjoy it. Like, it was not my favorite at all. I also kind of felt like the main character had no personality. It was kind of weird. I feel like to be a main character, you have to have such endearing qualities, and it just really felt like she had no qualities except for like not wanting to play chess because she doesn't want to play it, but she does. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. I didn't love it, but I read it fast. Like, it was cute enough, but 3.75, I might even bump it down to a 3.5. Like, I just honestly didn't enjoy it all that much. Next book that I picked up is Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher, and this is the first book in her Lakefront Billionaire series. Basically, this book follows Julian and Dahlia, and honestly, I don't even know. I don't really remember what any of these characters did in this book. It's so long. I swear the amount of unnecessary things that happened in this book, like, was crazy. Why a romance book is this long unless it's a Magnolia and BJ book or anything in that regard? Because, like, that book just has so much depth already and so much character growth, so you're, like, wanting to know about these characters, but like, in no way should a romance book like this be 510 pages. Like, I'm so sorry. I gave this book a 3.75. Like, it was cute. I enjoyed the story. I really just felt like there was no groveling at all in this book. For a book to be this long and there to be like absolutely no groveling at all is absolutely crazy in my opinion. Like, I couldn't, like, the book was so long, I was literally dying. I was like, okay, we get it. Like, currently, it's not a game. She thinks it's a game, but it's not. Like, it was cute. Lauren Asher's writing is addicting. Like, I love her writing. It was read very quickly. I am excited for the next one, though, because I did enjoy the little sneak peek of what we are going to get and, like, what characters it's going to be about. Like, I was like, okay, like, I am intrigued. The next book that I picked up is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This book was so cute. I gave it a 4 stars. I did listen to the audiobook of this one, and I did want to get a physical copy because I loved it so much. The audiobook was so good. It was so atmospheric. It was so beautifully written. Like, I literally loved this story so much. It was so cute, and it was so cozy, and it was like everything you want a cozy fantasy to be. And the next book did come out, so I really want to pick that up in March. Like, I just felt like this was the perfect cozy fantasy. Like, it was so cute. I don't know what it was about it. Like, it was just everything about it, like, just made me so happy, and I just really enjoyed it. Like, you're basically following this professor named Emily Wilde, obviously, and she is like a professional in like fairies and all like the different types of fairies. Thank you, Sansa. she's like a professional. She like knows everything about them. So she goes to this one little island and she decides to find this type of fairy that she's never seen before. She just goes and she learns about these fairies, and her colleague, Wendell Bemberly, which is our love interest. The romance is a very like small subplot to the story. Like it's not like a huge point in the book, but the little subplot that we did get was so cute. And I really liked his character. I really liked his character depth and like what his character entailed, if you know what I mean. Like I just felt like it was really sweet. I really enjoyed this one. So yeah, if you have not picked this up yet, on the cover alone, pick it up. I recommend getting the hardcover because the hardcover does not have a dust jacket. It's just like the book itself, and I love that. The last book that I read in February was A False Start by Elsie Silver, and this is the last book in the little series that she has. I literally am forgetting the name of it. I gave this one a 4.25 stars. Like I really enjoyed this one way more than I thought. This book was like an age gap, but it was done in a way that was like not weird in my opinion, because I can kind of get steered off of age gap romances very quickly. But the way that it was done, like there's a point in the plot where like these two characters have like a much needed break from each other, and it allows for so much growth and so much character development, and then some development in the relationship happens, and I really appreciated that. I feel like in books you kind of, especially with age gap romances, like you're kind of skipping any character development. Like it was very nicely done. I really like how Elsie Silver like took that, like gave them a break from each other and then allowed for their feelings to develop, for like them to mature. And I just really enjoyed it. Like I thought it was really sweet. So the last book was definitely my favorite in the whole series. So I did complete it. It was definitely my favorite, which was a really great way to end that series. I'm really happy that I enjoyed it. I feel like her writing just got better as the books went on, so it makes sense that I liked the last one the most. So yeah, if you haven't picked up that series, like I still recommend it, even though I didn't completely love everything about every single book. I still enjoyed it regardless. It was a fun read. It was a quick read. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so if you've not picked it up, pick it up if you haven't. And I know that they are getting traditionally published later on this year, so you know, it's a great time to read them, and then you can get them when they're traditionally published. And yeah, it was super cute. Yes, guys, that is all of the books that I read in February. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I'm so excited for the books that I am anticipating for March. It's going to be such a great month. I already know it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, do all those things that you guys know how to do, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye.